Thank you.
BBC Radio Cambridgeshire.
We're live shortly at the Cambridge Film Festival with a very special guest, the Queen guitarist Dr. Brian May, who's there to show a film he's made and to talk about 3D. 21 minutes past 4. Now, rock royalty is amongst us today, making a rare personal appearance. The Queen guitarist Dr. Brian May is in Cambridge this afternoon, ahead of an appearance at the Cambridge Film Festival. He'll be showing a film he's made, talking about his passion for 3D, and taking part in a live Q&A with an audience. We hope to be talking to him live in just a short while. Brian May was invited by Ramon Lamarca from the festival, a friend of this show, who was on here last year talking about the Catalan film features. He joined me a little earlier to talk about that and, of course, his famous guest.
There is more Catalan cinema. We have 5 titles, very exciting, with a very eclectic selection. And also, we bring back 3D, and this time with a big guest, Brian May.
A very big guest, Dr. Brian May, the Queen guitarist, and
yes.
he's coming simply because you asked him.
I asked him because I know that he's a big fan of stereoscopic photography. He's been collecting Victorian stereoscopes and actually publishes books about the subject. And when I wrote to him, he replied and said that he would be thrilled to come to Cambridge.
Well, it must have been a delight for you.
Oh, absolutely. It was fantastic to get an email directly from him, and that he was so excited about the prospect. He also has produced a short film where he plays guitar, which we will be showing, which is a kind of... He elaborates on the subject of the stereoscopic photographies, called Diableries in French, about the skeletons in hell, and he plays guitar to this reproduction of scenes of Diableries.
Now, he's a really interesting guy. I think he was at college when Queen first broke through. He got a degree before he went into music, and of course he built his own guitar, as you know. So technology is a real thing for him.
Yes, absolutely, and it's good that he's been able to manage both aspects in his life: the passion for music and the passion for science, and also the passion for stereoscopic photography. And I'm thrilled that he's going to be telling the audience what he does about the stereoscopic photography. And also we have a very interesting, apart from his short, we have a very interesting main feature of a restoration of all 3D films from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, images of New York in 3D, restored, beautiful. So it's going to be a very, very exciting evening.
Explain to us all, how does 3D work?
3D works by capturing what the left and right eyes see. That's how we get the image of dimension. So basically you need to have 2 cameras that more or less are positioned the same way as our eyes. And then what you need are polarizing glasses, which means that your left eye is going to be seeing the left eye image on the screen, and your right eye, the right eye image on the screen. And your brain is then going to compose the image of 3D.
Now, it's amazing that this was developed, a basic technology, all those years ago. I mean, almost 100 years ago, and then it fell into misuse. Why?
Why? Originally, because it was very complex, you needed 2 35mm film prints running synchronized perfectly. If one frame was out of sync, the whole thing falls apart. So it was very expensive for cinemas to have a projectionist with 2 machines. So they decided to go for CinemaScope, which was a big white screen and much cheaper. Now with digital, they've realized that they can bring 3D back in a much more reliable way and much cheaper.
And is it here to stay, do you think?
Probably yes. And they are looking now at 3D without glasses. If that is achieved, then it will be here, then definitely.
How do you do that?
That's even too technical for me. But they managed to send the information to the correct eye, basically without the glasses.
But as you say, if you get it wrong, it gives you a headache, doesn't it? I mean, it's not right.
Absolutely. So that's the reason why they are taking their time to get the right product.
So an exciting day for you, Ramon, and your big guest is coming. Tell us where and when are you going to see him?
He's arriving at the Light Cinema. He's going to be there from 4:45 to sign his books about 3D images from Victorian ages or from France. And then the main screening will start at 6:30 with his short. We will then have a Q&A with him and Monsieur Denis Pellerin, who has collaborated with him and is an expert in 3D photography as well. And then we will have the main feature.
Wonderful. Enjoy your day.
Thank you very much.
It's Ramon Lamarca from the Cambridge Film Festival. Brian May in Cambridge. The show starts at 6:30. We hope to talk to him very soon. But next, it's Brian May from Queen. So just to stress that Brian May of Queen is in Cambridge this afternoon, talking not about music so much as 3D, one of his real loves. He's a doctor, of course, a doctor of science after taking a PhD as part of his studies, which happened, I think, before Queen even began. But anyway, he'll tell us all about it. He joins us now on the phone. Brian, afternoon.
Hello, Chris. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. You've got a busy schedule, and we're really pleased to have you here. We talked to Ramon a bit. We talked to Ramon a bit earlier on, and he just emailed you, and you said, "Yeah, I'll come."
Of course. Yeah, I'm sitting here with Ramon, and also with Denis Pellerin, who's my co-author of the Diableries book. This is one of the reasons that I'm here today.
Now, your passion is very much for 3D and films and photography.
Absolutely, yeah. I have a great passion for things that you hear with your ears as well, of course, but vision has always been a huge passion with me, and particularly 3D vision, and something which has, in a sense, been neglected over the years. And we take it all the way back to its origin in the 1850s in England and France.
1850s? I didn't realise it went back that far. It's extraordinary.
It goes back before the birth of photography, strangely enough. It was first understood by a man called Charles Wheatstone about 1838. And everything stereoscopic comes from that. You know, Leonardo da Vinci didn't quite crack it, but Charles Wheatstone did. It's an amazing phenomenon. Of course, we experience 3D every moment of our lives. If we have two eyes, we're able to fuse these two images which we get from our two eyes into something which is magically full of depth and solidity, and it's an incredible thing. It tends to be neglected.
Now, you've made a film which is being shown today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a stereoscopic film based on the Diablerie, which are kind of devilments, you would say, the adventures in hell in France in the 1860s. Now, it sounds very obscure and it's hard to explain, but if you see it, you will go, wow, my God, you know, you're seeing every facet of life represented in hell with a lot of skeletons and the devil himself having a lot of fun. So it portrays hell in a very different way.
We had hoped we'd get you for the opening night of the film festival last night, because I know you're a huge fan of astronomy, and the opening film last night, which I was delighted to present the Q&A afterwards with the stars of it, was called Star Men, about the journey of some astronomers.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I just met the creators of that film, and they gave me a copy of the film, so I'm thrilled. I couldn't be here last night, sadly, because I was up in Edinburgh meeting Nicola Sturgeon.
Oh, my word.
Also, I get to do great stuff. I'm a very lucky boy, really.
Were you telling her what's what?
Well, we were discussing fox hunting, you know, because there's two bills, you know, which are both designed to protect animals against cruelty, and there's a parallel one in England, and we were talking about updating the Scottish one. So she's become a great ally. So it's been great.
Brian, one of I can tell you one of the greatest days of my life was to be there at Wembley Stadium in 1985 for Live Aid, and I know you played such a huge part in that. We've got a crisis at the moment with the migrants, as you know, and we're talking about it on the programme today. What's your view of how the West and Europe should respond to this?
I've been vocal about this for quite a long time, actually, and I think I'm disgusted by the way our governments responded. You know, there's this thing about migrants. They shouldn't be called migrants. They should be called refugees, and we should behave with compassion. I have no doubt in my mind, you know, how much room is there in Scotland, you know? You can put 40,000 refugees in there and not even notice. Yeah, I think we behaved despicably, and I'm thankful that at last David Cameron has paid heed to this wave of compassion which came about from seeing this The Boy on the Beach. I mean, how can you possibly take an attitude that these people don't matter? How can you possibly do that? How can you possibly not reach out a hand to save these people? So I felt it for a long time, and I'm glad to see that now the press has come round, and it's a movement. And to me, it's very parallel to the way people reacted to the murder of Cecil the Lion. You know, these things go on the whole time, but it's not until you see a picture and suddenly there's a wave of recognition that something is wrong with our society. And I'm very pleased with the way social media tend to expose these things, and I think it's moving us forward. It's moving us to a better society. I hope so, anyway. So
you're an optimist? You think that people power can work?
I'm an optimist, yeah. I mean, it's tough with a government like we've got at the moment, which really doesn't have an ounce of compassion in it, in my opinion. But yes, in the long term, I think we're seeing, a better class of MP, and in all parties, and we're very much colourblind. We don't care which party people are in. We just care what kind of human being they are. So we fight these daily battles for animals with people that care. And yes, I am optimistic. In the end, it will come. In the end, slavery came to an end, and in the end, abuse of animals will come to an end. It will come.
Well, Brian, I know you've got a very busy schedule and you've fitted Cambridge in, so well done and thank you for coming. Just tell us what's in store tonight.
Tonight we have the first showing, at a festival of this amazing little film, which actually I didn't make, but it was made in collaboration with me and Denis, who I'm sitting next to. And it's bringing the 1860s little devils from Paris to life in the 21st century. It's an amazing little short. Was made very quickly, but we're aiming for the feature film. We want to make the full-length film, which will be Diableries the movie, I guess. And it's a very exciting prospect.
And I know that
it's a bit like Ray Harryhausen. You ever see those old films where the skeletons come to life?
Yes.
It's a bit like that.
Brilliant stuff.
There's a lot more to it.
And I know that our friend Ramon, who is with you, will be hosting a Q&A later. You'll be talking to the Cambridge Film Festival public, so enjoy that. And
yeah, you've still got time to get down here, folks. We can still fit you in. Come and see this. It's our film, and it's also another wonderful film, which is lots of rescued treasures from the era of 3D films from the 50s and 60s and the 80s as well. All sorts of things which might have disappeared forever but have been rescued, and now you can see them in glorious 3D as they were intended. So come down, come see us.
That's at the 6:30 at the Light tonight, and then it's again, I think, at the Arts Cinema tomorrow. On Monday at 11. So there's lots of chances to see it, not just tonight. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great time in Cambridge.
Thank you very much. All
Cheers
the best, folks.
Dr. Brian May there. Busy programme we're having today. Well, when rock royalty calls, you have to answer. Brian May, thanks to him. And there's still time to get down there at the Light Cinema. 6:30 it gets underway, the show, and a Q&A with Brian. What an interesting fellow he is.